Controversial movies are a thing, but have you ever heard of TV episodes getting banned for being controversial? So controversial that people had to lose their jobs. In the history of TV shows, there have been several incidents where people lost their jobs because of the episodes they worked on. In this video, allow us to walk you through some such controversial TV episodes. Let's get started. Let's begin with the F word and its aftermath. It's not like Saturday Night Live had no controversial moments, but one that actually got someone fired will always live in our heads rent-free. During Season 6, Episode 11 featured the cast member Charles Rocket, who accidentally ended up saying the F word on live TV. This mistake, that wouldn't even be counted as a mistake today, cost him his job as he was fired from the show mid-season. But it felt like firing him brought bad luck to the show. Apparently, they had to end the Season 2 episodes early because of a writer's strike, and they had to fire almost everyone on the show. In contrast, very few were left behind, including Eddie Murphy. Next up, we have Megyn Kelly and her being dropped from her own talk show. Pretty much everyone knows how controversial Megyn Kelly is, but one incident during her talk show named Megyn Kelly caused her agency to finally fire her. On the 23rd of October 2018, the host was seen defending blackface in one of her show segments. To be precise, the topic of discussion was Halloween costumes, but Kelly felt this strong urge to finally destroy her own career at the talk show. The host defended the blackface costumes for Halloween, and the backlash to that specific episode was real. She later apologized for what she said, but it was already too late, and her agency, CAA, dropped her. Following this, the show was also canceled. Well, we bet that episode still haunts her and keeps her up at night. Up next are Damon Wayans and his controversial sketch in SNL. Now this one's actually funny, not gonna lie. Damon Wayans, who you might know from Lethal Weapon, was also once fired from a show because of a sketch. This happened during Season 11, Episode 12 of SNL, where the actor was playing the role of a straight-laced cop. The problem arose when Wayans started acting like a stereotypical gay man instead of playing his assigned role. Not just that, he went totally off script in that sketch, even though he knew he wouldn't be a part of the show after this. While talking about the situation, the actor revealed he did this because they didn't allow him to do what he wanted and knew they'd fire him for doing this. Another one we know from SNL is Sinead O'Connor. She's someone who enraged a whole religion with one appearance on Saturday Night Live in 1992, and people still remember it. SNL had its fair share of breakthroughs, but O'Connor took it to another level because no other scandal has been as bad as hers. Even though her conversation might have come from a pure place, it still upset millions of people all around America. SNL invited singers and other celebrities to the show, and one of them was Sinead O'Connor, who got famous for all the wrong reasons because of the picture of the Pope. That day, she stared right into the camera, covering Bob Marley's War. To be very clear, the song choice itself was pretty reflective of her protest against abuse of children in Catholic churches. But that wasn't the part that caused controversy. It was when she held up the picture of Pope John Paul on the word evil while singing the lyrics, "We have confidence in good over evil," and she took that photo from her own mother's house. Well, she did what she had to, but SNL banned her for life, and we don't think she cares. Let's have a look at the controversial cartoon Ren and Stimpy. This cartoon never felt like it was made for kids, but children watched it anyway. The show was way too dark for children, and sometimes even for adults. However, there was one episode that was just too much and did the deed of getting an entire team fired. The episode, named Man's Best Friend, was so horrible that it still gives us chills. In that episode, George Licker adopts Ren and Stimpy, but instead of being a wholesome installment, it was full of tobacco references, and even that wasn't the worst part. The most horrifying scene in the episode is where Ren beats up George with an oar, and later, this creepy creature stands on his body as if it is dead. Nickelodeon had to ban the episode, and it was never aired on the channel, but later, Spike TV released it. Not just that, we do not know why, but it's also available to watch on YouTube. Because of this episode, the show creator, John Kricfalusi, was fired, along with his entire team, rightfully so. A show that was for kids shouldn't have been so dark in the first place, but Kricfalusi and his team never considered it. Also, do you remember Nicole Wallace from ABC's The View? Nicole Wallace was the face of ABC's The View for quite a long time. Being a co-host on the show, Wallace was quite famous among the fans, but one day, she was gone. The reason was weird. The host was let go because she wasn't arguing enough with other hosts in one episode. But in the latest interview, the host revealed that there might have been some behind-the-scenes drama that caused her firing. But overall, it said that the channel wanted her to jump in and argue about her opposite viewpoints, which she didn't do. Well, let's say it only made her a better person. She now hosts her own MSNBC show called Deadline White House. Another one from The View is Michelle Collins. Well, the reason for Wallace getting fired seemed bizarre, right? Brace yourselves, because here's another one from the same show. Michelle Collins also also worked as a co-host at ABC's The View. Apparently, the comedian had to go through long trials to finally get the job. Everything was going smoothly, but suddenly, the showrunners decided it was time for her to leave because during one segment, she gave way too much of her personal anecdotes. While some may say that this was a legit reason to fire her, we believe that one mistake in one episode should be counted as an exemption. Also, stating personal anecdotes isn't bad when the show's whole point is to relate the story in question to real-life happenings. Next up, we have the one episode from Pokemon that sent hundreds of children to the hospital. Pokemon has been a very important part of our childhood, but little do people know about the 38th episode of Season 1, called Dunno Senshi Porygon, which caused havoc in Japan. Apparently, the strobe lights in the episode had such an intense effect that 685 children were rushed to hospitals after they experienced seizure attacks from watching the Pokemon episode. Besides that, several thousand children who didn't have to be taken to the hospital showed symptoms resembling mass hysteria. When the news of this incident spread around the country and the episode was taken down immediately, not just that, even the store stopped selling the Pokemon right away. Police and the healthcare department of the country were involved, and reports have it that Nintendo fired a few responsible for taking care of such things, but we never got the names of these employees. However, this incident started a legacy, and even today, showmakers must put a warning if any of the scenes in the show comprise strobe lights. The episode was only aired in Japan, and after that, the show went on a hiatus for about 3 weeks, but today, it's available to stream on YouTube and some other platforms. Last but not least, we have a sitcom called Ellen. Most of us know Ellen DeGeneres from her famous talk show, but that's not where she started her career. Before this, she used to appear in a sitcom called Ellen, and her character in it dated several men, but while she was still on the show, she came out in real life, and in the same manner, her character also came out on the series in the episode The Puppy Episode, where she confessed the feelings she had for Laura Dern's character in the show. But this wasn't something that drew attention to the show. Even though the episode received an award and was considered groundbreaking, the response to it was pretty negative. After this, the show's ratings declined quickly, and honestly, it was bound to happen given the time it aired. The show was canceled, and everyone ultimately got fired from the show. But that didn't end Ellen's career. Instead, she later thrived in the Ellen DeGeneres Show. The rest of the cast, however, didn't get their own shows. And with this, it's time for us to wrap this up, fam. What do you think about this video? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll soon be back with more amazing videos. See you in the next one.